Super weather.
Good Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist Brooke Martell. Yesterday we had those foggy skies out along the coastline. We have more of that this morning, but today those daytime highs starting to trend up a little bit more in comparison to Saturday. I'd say yesterday was definitely more comfortable. We have a heat advisory going into effect for your coast, for your valleys. Starting tomorrow, it lasts through Friday. Before this was an extreme heat watch. Now it's been downgraded to that heat advisory, but we have that extreme heat watch going into effect by the end of the week for the mountains, for the desert region. So here's a look right now. I mentioned the foggy skies. Visibility, this is just around 6 a.m. on Sunday, and you can see where that dense fog is located over Fallbrook, but also patchy fog up and down your coastline, really from Oceanside to Imperial Beach, but also stretching east over Chula Vista and La Mesa, and places like El Cajon seeing those foggy skies as well. So give that some time this morning to gradually mix out before we start to see some of the blue skies. But here's a look at the coastal forecast for La Jolla. Again, cloudy, upper 50s through about 9 a.m. Rip current risk is high for today. Please be careful if you plan on getting in the water. Swim, surf near that lifeguard tower always. And then you can see right around 11 a.m. partly cloudy skies, mid 60s. Wave heights today from about 3 to 5 feet will be right around those upper 60s for La Jolla as we get into about lunchtime. Over El Cajon, like I mentioned, cloudy skies overhead right now, staying cooler through about 9 a.m. Some upper 50s. It's kind of nice to see those temperatures lingering as we get into about noon, mid 70s with some clouds, with some sunshine. And here is a look at the daytime highs. So upper 60s to about the mid 70s for the coast. Will be a little bit warmer for downtown San Diego. We still have that mix today. We have 70s and 80s over your inland valley communities, trending above the seasonal average. El Cajon typically right around the low 70s for this time of the year. So in some cases right around 15 degrees above the seasonal norm. And you can see over the mountain communities, 70s there. We'll have 90s once again over your desert region. Here's a look at the wind direction. We still have that offshore flow on the weaker side over the mountain communities, but breezy at times. And then closer to the valleys, we have some westerly flow. Conditions will start to calm down later on tonight. Here's a look at what we have going on tomorrow afternoon. We still have that offshore flow coming off of our mountains, and then we have that northwesterly flow over the coastline as well. Departure from normal for tomorrow. You could see these daytime highs starting to trend warmer, as I mentioned. So depending on where you're at, San Diego International Airport expected to reach about the mid 80s. Then we'll get some 90s back in the mix tomorrow for your inland valley communities. So we're back within that threshold with daytime highs trending anywhere from about 10 to about 25 degrees above the seasonal average. So as we get this week started, we have that heat advisory going into effect tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. This will last until Friday at 8 p.m. For the coast, we're talking temperatures this week right around the 80s and 90s, but for the valleys, mid 90s up to about 105. And it looks like right now the warmest days of the week will be Thursday going into Friday. And just east of those regions, extreme heat watch in effect as we look ahead to Thursday morning, 10 a.m. through Friday evening. Peak temperatures of the mountains from the mid 80s to about the mid 90s. That would be below about 5,500 feet. Desert region, 105 up to about 110. So really warm week on tap. That is actually the first day of spring too on Friday. So these warm winter temperatures for us, and they stick around through that beginning of spring. So here's a look at the heat risk map from National Weather Service. Also for Monday, remember that the yellow category here is minor. So if you're in the orange, typically over those inland valleys, that's where we're in that moderate category. This is really for individuals who are really sensitive to heat. And we're seeing this again, not just tomorrow, not just Tuesday. It's prolonged. It's taking us even into the beginning of next weekend. So just keep a close eye on yourself, on others who, again, are sensitive to these conditions. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Drink plenty of water. Make sure the pets have fresh water and shade. You want to take those breaks in the shade in air-conditioned rooms. I would even suggest just limiting your time outside again if you're really sensitive to these warmer temperatures, especially because we're not used to getting this during this time of the year. But the peak hours to avoid 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. This one, the most important, never leave children or pets in a vehicle. It only takes seconds for those temperatures to become dangerously hot. Here is a look at that 10-day forecast for you. Don't forget St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday. And you could see by that point, we're looking at peak daytime highs at the coast from the upper 80s, mid 90s by then for the inland valley communities. So day by day, it looks like we're getting warmer, right? Warmest days of the week, Thursday, Friday. Friday could very well be the warmest day of the week for certain parts of the county, like our valleys. I mentioned this earlier, we're staying warm through the start of next weekend. Then those temperatures start to level off a little bit, but still trending above seasonal averages in some cases. For your mountain communities, 70s, 80s, and 90s in the forecast for this week. And for the desert region, we could actually be reaching triple digits as early as Tuesday and stay there through Saturday. Have a great day.
Don't forget your umbrella.